Oh, goodness
Hi,
gracious.
everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there's no such thing as coincidences or mistakes, and we're here to share our life story on that with you. I once again have the giggles, and I apologize. My name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Doyle. I forgot the music cue down. Sorry. I was laughing too hard.
That's okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Dean.
Hello, my loves.
And I just have to shout out to my daughter. If you're watching us today, my daughter on last week's podcast said, Sue asked if she had any last minute thoughts. If all of us had last minute thoughts. And my daughter said, Mom, bring back the curls.
Yeah, bring back the curls.
The curls are gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
I brought back Jess.
I love it.
I think my kids freak out. They hate my hair straight. I like it because it's lower maintenance.
I know, but it literally just took 10 years off your life having that.
Okay.
Off your
my kids say.
Now that you're going to die early, at least you're pretty.
At least
it took 10 years off your looks. Now you're like, oh my God.
Thank you. Okay.
Here's the problem with curly hair in New England, because you have to let it dry naturally, that all winter long you're freezing, waiting for your hair to dry.
Well, this is a diffuser.
You know what I mean?
I use a diffuser and stuff that Black women put in their hair because they keep discontinuing all the gels that I find that I love.
I know.
I'm like, God damn it. So whatever.
So you're diffusing it.
I'm diffusing the situation.
I did wear my hair curly the other day, and I do feel like I did a little mitzvah, which is a good deed. It's Yiddish. It's Yiddish for a good deed. There's a woman that I work with who sent me a picture, and she's like, "Oh, I think I'm going to start wearing my hair curly." I'm like, "Your hair is beautiful." So I gave her the step-by-step instructions to get the most out of her curls, and she's embracing her curls. So
embrace the curls, ladies.
I know. I just get cold waiting for it to dry, and I don't have a diffuser.
Get it.
I'm just gonna come to Florida and let it dry in the sunshine, and then
I never dry my hair here.
Amazing.
Yeah, I never dry my hair. I mean, I do. I shouldn't say I never. I do sometimes, but majority of the time it's wet and just dry naturally.
I did start following your advice, Sue, and instead of wrapping my wet hair in a towel, I now wrap it in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, so the problem is I have to wash it like every other day when it's curly. Otherwise it gets flat and fly away and blah, blah, blah. But it's,
you know what I do sometimes is go into the shower and just sort of like,
yes,
like just wet my hands and then wet my hair, and it reconstitutes the curls and gets rid of the frizz. Because really, like, curly hair should be washed
every day.
No, God, like every 4, 5, 6 days.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Mine looks like shit if I don't.
I think I'm going on, I think this is day 3 maybe without washing it, or 4.
Yeah, I'll go 7 with straight hair. I know
Debbie just looks like she smelled bad cheese.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what your scalp smells like.
Dry shampoo.
No, it's, you know what, curly hair really responds to natural oils. Like, it's really good for your hair and your curls. Because curly hair typically is very dry.
That's true.
I don't know what I mean?
Well, today we're switching the subject today.
We're switching it up a little bit, sissies.
We're not even talking about hair anymore. We're talking about something that's not so fun or a popular subject, but we're going to talk about it anyways because I feel like people need to learn about it, or not learn about it, but to be supported through it if it's happening to you, or if you're thinking about embarking in it. And last week we had Jess and Olivia on to talk about divorce and growing up in a divorced household. And a lot of divorce is caused by infertility. No.
There you go. Infidelity. Or infertility. But
all right, here we go. We don't know how to stop the podcast and cut that out and restart it. So we're just going to say, let's take two. We're talking
Yes.
about infidelity. I am sure
Infidelity.
there are some marriages that break up from infertility. However, we're a little too old to be talking about having babies.
Well,
We're, we're
I do want to say one thing, and maybe this was a subconscious thing, but because, I went through infertility treatment, so I got to think about what I'm about to say. And it's very stressful on a marriage,
very, oh, I'm
very stressful.
sure.
So it could be either. But today we're talking about infidelity, cheating.
Yes, yes. And so I think, it speaks to us being
Yeah.
middle-aged. And
Mhm.
I think, you two you two are way smarter than me. You have some statistics, but I'm wondering if those statistics have any type of age parameters um,
Mm.
or what time of the life you're in that these statistics correspond to. Because I'd be interested to see if, just sort of like, when we were talking about divorce, how, sometimes you get to a certain age where you're looking at your husband, you're like, oh my God, I don't even know this person. I don't really even like this person. Like, is that where infidelity shows up more than when we're younger? And I didn't know if your statistics supported that opinion.
I just did a little search on that, so I
Hmm.
did bring up some stats. But you start first, Kristen, with what you learned.
So that's a great question. And I did kind of look when I was gathering these statistics, I kind of looked and it was like 18 through 49. And I was like, okay,
All
that's,
right.
that's a
So
what. But
basically your
then
whole life.
it said 50 to 59. These statistics I'm
Mm.
about to tell you
Hmm.
dropped a little bit. So I don't think it drops with age, but I think we can kind of group this together. And the searches I did were for women because I was curious of statistics for women.
Hmm.
And it said it's been increasing over time for women who are the cheaters, right, in
Hmm.
relationships. And it said of relationships, now these are marriages or relationships,
It
19,
didn't quantify actual marriage
no,
or I don't want to say just, but long-term relationships that are not
it,
legally
correct.
unionized.
It was anything. It was
Okay.
relationships, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's marriage relationships,
Mm-hmm.
not casual dating, but 19% of women cheat to 24% of men. So, and it said, and I believe this, women are on the rise. Women are cheating more.
Mm.
Nowadays they're
Do you
whatever.
think it's because women are more financially independent than they used
That's
to be, and
exactly,
they're not afraid to, they want more? They
exactly.
know that they
There's more
can
choices.
provide themselves more, and if there's backlash from the infidelity, they know that they can take care of themselves.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we were talking last week
I
on
think
the
that. I mean, I don't know if
women.
that statistic is actually supported, but I think that's my opinion.
I mean, think of our mothers who couldn't get, we talked about this last week, couldn't get a credit card or a loan. Those days are gone. So those women in those days when they're married, what are they going to, and I'll talk more about this when I talk about my own personal experience, but women with children, it's a little bit less,
Mm.
but again, you know, you're trapped as a woman in 1970, whatever, with kids.
Right.
You can't, we didn't have, you could get a job, but, like you said, Sue, we have a lot more independence now. We have a lot more options. We can support ourselves. So,
Did it say anything about women's statistics rising more like in the 40 to 50, like when their kids are starting to be launched and they're not at home or they're quote unquote, I hate this word empty nester, which is a really good topic for, another
another
podcast because
time.
I freaking
Yeah.
hate that word. But, because I just think, you're in the thick of it and your kids are young,
Yeah.
like you can barely muster the
Yeah.
energy to have sex with your husband, let alone somebody
Anybody
else.
else?
Like, really? You're so depleted, but as your kids get older and you're needed, quote, a day to day less, or your kids are out of the house and you're an empty nester, and then you have this financial independence and all the things, and you're like, and you kind of get your groove back a little bit, and you don't want you to be grooving with your husband, you want to be grooving with somebody else, or you want to feel attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb,
What
did
about
you
you, Deb?
pull up anything that talks about that age thing?
Well, yeah, it's actually says, and this, what I just pulled up from chat is ages 50 to 59 are the peak years for many people, 28% of men and 17% of women
To leave or to cheat?
to cheat.
To cheat. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is
Um,
about around that age time where there's
Mm,
less
that's fine.
kid familial distraction,
Yeah.
right? And then
yeah.
you
I don't
start
even like
looking at
you.
your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you start looking at your relationship and you're like,
Ew.
Yeah. It
huh,
says cheating generally increases with age, not decreases. The highest risk window is from 30 to 60 years old. And
that's a big range.
I know it is. It's interesting because I don't know. For me, that would take me out,
Oh
cheating.
yeah.
I
Mm,
just
me
obviously
too.
everybody says like that's the deal breaker, and
Mhm.
I carry a lot of um trauma from past relationships where I that has happened to me, my marriage, and I just remember the pain and all of the awful feelings that go with that because you really do feel like this person has chosen somebody over you, and even though you feel like you've given them the best, it's just not enough. It just ruins you emotionally.
So one of the
I think it definitely,
statistics,
go ahead.
one of the statistics that I really liked was 60 to 70% of women leave after they learn that their partner has cheated.
Mm,
And it didn't give a statistic for men, but it said it's less for men. And I
yeah.
believe that. I too, Deb, I'm going to talk about from the other side of the fence. I was forgiven for my indiscretions, but I said to, my ex-husband, I said, I don't know how you forgive me. I couldn't do the same for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I could never, that would be it for me, just like you said, so anyway, yeah.
It's interesting though that you come from a different place. Like what made you seek outside of your marriage?
So it's so funny because I had one child at the time. She was very young, and I was not getting my emotional needs met. I
Mm.
was, in my early 30s, and um, not as wise as I am now. So what happened is I was charmed by the wiles of someone else
Mm.
who was able to give me what was missing in my marriage. Not my marriage, we were not married at the time yet. Um, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Mm.
And, you know, I know that that happens all the time in every single relationship. No one is exempt.
Mm.
Um, so I'm aware of those warning signs, you know, um, but when I look back at it now, I was sober at the time. And
Newly sober. You were
no,
no.
I had been sober probably about 6 years,
Okay.
7 years at the time, 6 or 7 years. Um, and I tell you, it was the feeling after I was caught, and the feeling of what I had done to this man that I loved with my heart and soul
Mm.
was horrific. It was,
Now,
yes.
some people might say, if you loved him with your heart and soul, why would you do that?
Yep. So I have admitted it here before, and I am still this way. I feel like I'll be this way forever. I'm a bit of a passive aggressive person.
Okay.
So, my ex-husband was a loyal man. He, provided for me. He loved me, but he was oftentimes not the nicest person in the world. And expressing that to him was often met with defensiveness,
Yeah,
anger, mean words. So I would just shut down. And, that affair became like a drug.
Yeah.
I was, like I said, sober at the time, and it made me feel, it filled that feeling of desperation, the feeling of emotional disconnect. Like, and this other individual would say things like to me, like, if you were my woman, da 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 da. If you had my child, I would have married you by now.
All the things that you
big one for me. Yeah, like, and yeah, and I don't know. It was, yeah, Deb, it was really, really torturous. Never in my life have I wanted to die more, including when I was actively using drugs. I just was. And we went to therapy and we worked through it. And like I said, he, forgave me. He really and truly did. So
did he change after that?
Nope.
Did he listen to you? No.
Nope.
So nothing really changed.
So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to stop you guys right there. Kristen, he forgave you, but did you ever forgive yourself?
Yes, I did. And it's so funny you asked that question, Sue, because I went back to him later, and we talked about amends a couple podcasts ago. I went back to him like a second and third time just to say to him how sorry I truly was, and how, and he's like, I've let it go, Kristen. I've let it go. It's okay. That was kind of me dumping back on him. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I have forgiven myself, because I look at it now and I can step back into how I felt then, and what a bad decision it was, and how I made that person feel. But I have completely forgiven myself. I have. Yeah. It was
good for you.
A stupid time.
Good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's really big. I wonder if there's a correlation to his kind of emotional disconnect to you and his then ability to forgive you, because I feel like he really did forgive you and move on with it. And like, I don't know. I don't understand that. Like you said that, that was the one time that you really wanted to take yourself out because of the pain. And that's exactly how I felt, being on the opposite side, and the pain and the, but it's just, he forgave you. And I'd like to say that I forgave my ex, but I don't know if I truly did. The marriage didn't work out, and it was because of a barrage of other things, but I don't know.
Did your ex-husband's infidelity, was it alcohol and drug infused? Or is it before that got really bad?
No, it was after that, but it was, I would go as far to say as he had a sex addiction. Yeah. I would go as far to say that, because it was so prevalent. It was such, like, it was the drugs, the alcohol, the women, the drugs, the alcohol, the women. There was always women, always women.
How did you deal with that, Deb? Because I've had other relationships where I've had, I don't know if the right word is distrust or mistrust, just based on this individual's actions. And I just never trusted him. When you, first of all, how did you find out that you were being cheated on? And then, like, the first time, and then what happened subsequently, and how did you deal with that, like, trust wise? Were you like, you never trusted him, or did you give him a chance
Oh,
after
I
the
was being
first?
completely gaslit.
Okay.
So it was like I knew what was happening. It was pretty much happening in front of me. And I was like, and then, I was crazy and overthinking
Mm.
and making shit up and blah, 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 blah. And then, a situation happened where there was no getting out of it. Like I literally had the woman on the phone. and and I was like, this calls for you, kind of thing. And the cat was out of the bag, but it was just awful. It
And
was
did he
just
get
awful.
defensive? I mean,
Well,
what was the reaction to that? The
when it
cat being out of
finally
the
came
bag.
to the cat being out of the bag, like, and I had him red-handed caught, like there was no getting out of it.
Right.
He crumbled, and you
Beg your
know,
forgiveness, or?
yeah.
Mhm.
And at that point, at that moment, and this had been going on for years, that was when I was able to say, I'm not losing my mind. This is happening. Um, this woman is literally telling me that you guys are waiting for me to give him a divorce so that you can get married. And I'm like, and you're
Mm.
telling me there's going to be no divorce. I want to work this out. And, all of the things just came crashing. And I just said, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm done. But guess
That-
what? Guess what? I was already at that point, because of all the pain, emotional pain of me thinking something is going on here and there's other people involved, and and him telling me I was crazy and overreacting and blah 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 blah. I need to get on my meds or whatever it was. It was always something that I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
He it was I started using. That is
Oh,
when I started using drugs
using drugs.
and alcohol, because I just could not, the pain of it all was just too much. And when I was high, I was like, I can do this on my own. I don't need him.
Mm.
And that's when I got divorced. I was still very active in my addiction when I served him the papers, when I divorced him, when I took Hunter and set up my own life. And I don't know if I could have done that without the false, what do you call it?
You had a false sense of security. You
Security
had a
Yeah.
from the
false and a
drugs.
false sense of oh boy,
Yeah.
maybe abilities. I don't
Yes,
know.
Yeah.
totally. But when I had those drugs in me, and that and the drink and whatever it is that I needed, that similar to when people want to be more confident or social and they drink,
Yeah.
right? But then I was the
The
same
liquid
way.
courage you had
I
that gave
had
you the
That's
liquid courage
exactly right.
to move
Okay.
on.
To move on,
Yeah.
to leave him and to start my
Mm.
life. And it was incredibly painful if I didn't. I did it. I was able to do it because of the drugs and alcohol, and that is really sad, but that is the truth.
Can I ask
Hmm.
you guys, what do you think? Like, Deb mentioned gaslighting. So I've been told you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about before. And come to find out, I was right. Gaslit, whatever. Is that what they call it? Gaslighting?
Yeah, when
Um,
somebody makes you think that you're losing your
you're
mind because
crazy.
you
Yeah.
know something is true and they're telling you it's not, and then you start to
Mm-hmm.
doubt your own sanity.
So
Yeah,
when people
that
do,
means you're being gaslit by a
Yeah.
gaslighter.
I guess, so when people do that, I feel like it almost makes them more guilty.
Oh, for me, that to me, 100%. It's like if
Like
you
in the
are
defensive.
turning this around,
Yeah.
on me.
On me. Yeah.
You're taking the ownership, responsibility, spotlight off of you and your behavior. And so the discussion, the argument, the plan turns into fixing my problem
Yeah.
at because I reacted a certain way to their behavior.
Mhm.
So
And so
I'll
it just takes the complete ownership and spotlight off of the actual problem
the
Mhm.
act.
and puts the spotlight on fixing the person's reaction
You're
to the bad
crazy.
behavior. And then the behavior never changes.
Mhm.
And then
So
you're like, well, and then it goes even deeper as to, well, then it gets really spun around to saying, well, I wouldn't have I never would have done that if you didn't react that way.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And then it gets the whole timeline gets fuzzy and fucked up because you're like, well, wait a minute. It all started with you doing this.
Yeah. Or saying this or blah 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 blah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken about this before. I literally t in my marriage, I used to walk around with a little tape recorder in my pocket, and I'd start taping the minute he started getting crazy and verb
Mm,
abusive because he would say to me, "That never happened. I never said that. I never did that. That
yeah.
never happened." And I'd
Yeah.
literally have to be like,
There you go.
beep and
Yeah.
replay it, and he
Yeah.
still would be like, "That's not how it happened." And it's like, oh my God, it just makes you go crazy.
So
But
I
What I
remember,
have experienced is my words get twisted
oh yeah.
or exaggerated, like, you know, I'm having a moment to, a bad moment or a bad day into, oh my God, you're so unhappy, you're so miserable, I'm
Mm,
sorry, your life is so bad when you're dealing with one bad situation.
mm,
mm.
So then
Right.
it starts there, and then I never said that. And then you get gaslit from like, it's almost like a backdoor gaslighting
mm,
because they prompted you. It's like you're provoked because your words were taken out of context
mm,
or, like I said, I don't, or exaggerated. Not being happy with one thing turns into you're a miserable person or
Mm,
you have a miserable, unhappy life.
right.
And then you react to that exaggeration, and then it becomes then the problem or the gaslighting comes from you reacting to your words getting twisted, or just like Deb said, like you never said that, but it's like
mhm.
they hang on one word to then gaslight.
Yeah.
So I can remember when I was caught. I was caught. Now this is in 2001. So we had the singular bill. Remember singular cell
Oh yeah,
phones?
yeah, the cell
Oh,
phones, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So so the correspondence between myself and this individual was right there on the cell phone bill. And my ex-husband was not stupid. He's very smart. And he took that and then he went rifling through some other things and he found, all the things that I was careless or whatever you want to call it. I didn't think of. But and this does not make what I did right by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe being in the program at the time, this taught me I was caught red-handed,
Mm,
literally. Like, here's the bill, here's the shit I found in your car, you know. And I'm like, you're right. I, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
did
did it.
you did you just like at that moment know that there's no turning back? There's nothing I can
Yeah,
do so you just said, you're right.
yeah, you're right. Like I can't. I think prior I had.
Was it a little bit liberating? Because I would think it's difficult to live with that burden of lying and having to keep everything straight. And it
he
has
was
to be at some point, it has to get heavy.
he was on to me before I got caught. And again, it's so long ago. I don't remember a ton of details. I remember getting caught. I remember how I felt, but he was on to me prior. So um, that piece I skirted the truth with. He would mention this individual, what's going on with you two? He knew, like, and I'd be like, nothing, 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 this is a fellow program person, like
Hmm.
known by others and whatever. It just, so that piece was annoying. And so I feel like maybe that burden was lifted, like, okay, yeah, I'm a shithead, I've been lying. And again, he never made me feel like, when he forgave me, he was not
That's
one of these
incredible.
people. He was
Yeah.
incredible. Like
I
That is
just don't get
incredible to
that.
me.
it's
You
really
know,
unfortunate that um he did not clean up not he did not get the help he needed to fix his trauma child
Yeah.
and his
hmm
issues, because he truly had many redeeming qualities. And
Was he suspicious after that? I know after that you guys got married, but was he
oh
constantly like suspicious of things? That just blows my
no,
mind.
I
I
Me
don't,
know,
too.
I
Me
can't
too.
relate to that at all.
I don't,
I couldn't let it go. I
I
Because
was,
mean, you could
as far as I know, I have not been, I have not been
cheated
cheated
on.
on. I don't, obviously, but as of right now, I can say I don't know if I ever have or not, but I'm believing that I haven't. But I can say this, it would be, I know for a fact it would be very difficult for me to trust that it wasn't going to happen again.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know what I
mean, I
mean?
think,
I don't know. I mean, I would just, the level, I don't know. That's incredible. But I agree with
It
Deb.
is
That is
incredible. Yeah.
incredible to me that he
Yeah.
really and truly let
yeah.
it go and forgave you.
I mean, we did do a lot of work in couples counseling, but I think he's the type of individual that just was so concentrated on fixing that relationship. And I,
Hmm.
of course, had AA and was fixing myself. And the healthier I got, the more I was like, this guy, I love him, but man, is he fucked up. Like, and he's so angry. And I can't deal with this. But like,
Mm.
but yeah, he did forgive me. He did forget. He forgot. I mean, he didn't forget, but he didn't throw it back
Never
in my
brought it up again,
face.
even in the heat of an argument, never brought it up again.
And one of the
Do
things Deb and I were talking about recently was, I am by nature not a very trusting person when it comes to relationships. And I think that is truly related to my behavior
mm,
in this realm. Like,
Hmm.
I can't be trusted. No one
Your
else
own
can be
behavior,
trusted.
not somebody
Yeah.
else's.
And
Interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I think that that's a huge part of it. I also do not trust a lot of men. I did trust my ex-husband. I don't think he ever, I think he was very loyal to
Hmm.
me. And again, but whatever. What were you going to say, Deb? Sorry. You were going to say something.
I was gonna say, I think um, there's two reasons why people don't trust their spouse or partner. And one is because you have the propensity to cheat yourself. So you're
Mhm.
like, well, if I'm doing it or I'm going to do it, who's to say he's not going to do it? And then it just, or
Or vice versa.
somebody comes
If
to the,
he's doing it, he doesn't trust other people aren't doing it. So
yeah,
he,
same
you
partners,
know,
right?
same type of situation.
Or you come into the relationship like for me, with the
Having
distrust
had
of,
experienced it.
yeah, the experience of it and it being so incredibly, it just ruins you, and the
But
pain
so now I
and
kind of
so
understand because what the that behavior or that turning point in your marriage was the catalyst to your drug and alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
there's a lot of layers on top of just not trusting, or it is a snowball effect
Big
to
time.
felony and rehab.
Yeah, big time.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's
I
you equate it like if this person cheats on me, this is what's going to happen to me.
yeah.
So it's not
Or if
just a
I,
trust thing.
yeah, or it's the pain, it's the surfacing of the pain, the emotional pain. And I'm like, I don't trust that I'm not gonna be strong enough to get through it without self-medicating. And if I self-medicate, my life goes down the toilet. And
Correct. Yes. You
yeah,
said it much
so
more eloquently than me. But
no,
for
but
you,
that's
it's a
exactly it.
your trigger
Mhm.
is a timeline of
It's the
the
emotional.
worst time
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah, totally, totally.
How do you
Absolutely.
carry that, Deb? Like I know that you trust implicitly, Kevin,
Hmm.
right? We've talked about that.
Yeah.
So how did you carry that from your marriage into, say, I don't know, maybe your first healthy, sober relationship?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kristen. It's like, did you and Kevin are in a solid spot because he has proved to you that he's a solid guy, but do you think that some of the relationships you had between your
Mm,
divorce
mm.
and Kevin met the demise because of your unwillingness to trust the person because of what happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, did you
Yeah.
kind of like Kristen said, like, did you push them away before they could cheat on you?
No, it's very funny
Or
because
did you look for that type of behavior and manifest it?
Mm.
in thinking back of the handful of relationships I had between the end of my marriage and Kevin, and one of those was a 4-year long term where
Mm.
I lived with him. It, it was almost like I would only pick guys that I knew would not cheat on me. I
The
just did.
opposite. You
It's the
picked the
total
opposite.
Interesting.
opposite.
Yeah.
I had, and to a degree that it was almost like enough. Like I had to just, it was like
Too
too
much.
much attention, too much trust, too much whatever, that I just became uninterested.
Yeah.
And although I never cheated on any relationship that I was in, I will say that I always had the door open. I always left the door open. So if
Yeah.
somebody else came in, I was going to be a willing participant, not to cheat, but to take into consideration getting out of the relationship I was in and getting into another one. So I knew when like I was in these relationships that I was not, I was in it, but I was like,
Not 100%.
not, if
Not both
something
feet.
else comes along, I will give it a shot. And then I'd always break up with whomever I was with before starting another relationship. So I just never did it. I think it's because I just didn't, the feelings that I felt when it was happening to me, I just could not bear to put somebody else through. I just couldn't. And Kevin, it's interesting because he's an extrovert and he's always
Mm.
talking to everybody and blah 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 blah. And I just,
Women could scoop him up, Deb.
yeah, or I just feel like yes, he likes to go out and party and have a good time, but I just never got the sense it's just not who he is.
Him. Yeah.
See, I think
Isn't that
too, I think
nice?
you can be a mega extrovert. I think there's something, and this is my own personal opinion. Um, I've never stepped out of a relationship, um, nor do up to my knowledge that anybody has stepped out on me. But I think, there's people who give off, I am in a committed relationship and that door is not open vibe. and can be as extroverted as they want to, and there's just this vibe from them that, you know, nope,
Yeah.
and there's people who give off the vibe of the door's ajar. Let's
Yep.
see where
Yeah.
this goes.
Right.
And anything is a possibility.
Right.
I'm a
Whether or not they
definite,
act on it is different, but I think there's a different energy that people put off.
Yeah. I've just never had, listen, no relationship is perfect.
None.
And even, you can be in a committed relationship and you're still going to have good and bad days. There's just no doubt about it. I just choose to not go there, and be, and listen, there's always those men and women out there that are like, I can promise you all the things that you're missing out on
yeah.
or whatever, but if you're committed to being in a relationship, you're going to see through the good times and the bad times.
And here's the other thing. I think you as the individual are responsible for filling your cup, so to speak. I mean, the other person
Yes.
does, right? But
Right, right, right.
um,
That's an
when you
external.
put that ownership on somebody else, 100% of that on somebody else, they are never going to live up
They're going to fail you.
to the
Right.
always.
Yeah.
That's
Always.
right.
I mean, definitely making emotional deposits and physical deposits and, psychological deposits. But when you put 100% of that ownership into somebody else, they're never, success is fleeting.
No, it's like I said on one of our last podcasts that somebody said to me, when you have expectations of somebody, you're going to be let down every single time, especially if you have expectations of them behaving in the way that you think they should behave. It's like we're all having our own experiences here on this earth, and you cannot expect somebody to you can't have high expectations of somebody.
Yeah.
You're just going to get hurt all the time.
I read something the other day in one of my daily readings about putting your energy into the spiritual side of your life and taking it out of the external.
Oh, I love
And,
that.
one of the
Love that
things
too.
I've been doing is focusing so much on my job, what I don't have, the fact that I'm, you know, like I'm very happy in my current situation right now. But and I know that we want to wrap up soon, but you mentioned keeping doors open. So
Hmm.
one of the things that I have a very dear friend that we used to say, we did the overlap. Like we would move from one relationship to the next with the overlap. Um, I'm happy to say I haven't done that in years, but I am definitely like keeping that door open with whomever is
Hmm.
sometimes not a good idea. You know what I mean? Like that boundary, that door being open for someone who might be susceptible to not do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
Is you're walking on the tracks,
It's dead. It's dangerous. You're
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's like saying, it's like for the addict who says, I'm not, I don't think I am one, or they're leaving a little bit of the door open
Yeah.
for them to escape through.
You go sit at a bar. I'm
It's
gonna
like,
go.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like you are in these are the things that you have to do so you don't
Correct.
self-medicate.
I
Right.
had this one person in my life when I was in a committed relationship that I knew my contact, I never had an inappropriate relationship with this person. My contact with this individual was not healthy for my relationship. I knew that. And, like those are the things that I feel like, and I'm kind of on the lookout too, like on the other side of things, like, are you doing the same?
Hmm.
Bottom line, again, I have major trust issues in relationships. And I feel like, that's
And
going
that's
to be a
funny because
constant.
you were not cheated on. Yeah, you were the one that cheated.
Yeah.
So
So as far as I know, I
yeah.
definitely, like
So
Sue.
do you think it's a lack of, let me ask you something. Do you think it's a lack of trust in yourself? Because I've
100%.
right. So what you're doing is you're projecting that
Mm.
distrust of yourself and your ability to make the good decisions on somebody else.
I was telling somebody recently, um, you you would never trust me and I would never trust you.
Mm.
Like that's just, that's sad but that's, whatever. That's kind of, again,
But it goes back to, cleaning up your side of the street.
yeah.
You need to work on trusting yourself and your abilities and your, staying true to who you are.
I wrote
Then
down
I think you will trust others or choose people in your life that are trustworthy.
exactly. Yeah.
It's like I always feel like the person who cheats or steps out or even just hurts the person that they're with is a reflection of what's going on inside of them,
Hmm.
not what's wrong with you.
Yeah, that I believe that too. I
Yep.
truly believe that. But when it's happening,
Does a
it's
number on your psyche though. I mean, for
exactly.
sure,
It
right? But if
still
you,
hurts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely, it's what's going on with them because
100%.
people that
yeah,
are happy and satisfied with themselves, they're not looking for anything else to fill that
correct,
void. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so good. Well,
Tough
I
topic, but
This
it
was
is
good.
a
This was
tough
a tough,
topic.
pretty uncomfortable topic, but I'd love
yeah.
to hear from people who watch or listen. So,
Mm.
firstly, we Queens are now on iHeartRadio, so I do feel like we stepped our game up a little bit. So people who are watching us on YouTube or listening on Spotify, you can also find us on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. But we also have an email address that you could write to us and give us some feedback. You can also DM any one of us, but the email address is rewind and reflect with us, all spelled out at gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Love to hear your opinions, maybe some suggestions on topics,
Hmm.
feedback, whatever. But
Yes,
this was good.
indeed.
This was a great, great conversation.
And if Jason Bateman is willing to step out on his marriage,
God, he's so cute. On a total side note, I started
sorry,
watching him
Amanda Bateman.
in DTF St. Louis. Have you guys
Oh, I
watched that?
started that. Yeah, I just saw the
Uh,
It's a
first
little weird.
episode.
I
It
just
is
did
very
one
weird.
episode last night and I found
Same.
myself watching the TV go like kind of, huh?
Yeah, it's
did
a
you
little
see him
bizarre.
in the
But
the
he's so
cat one?
cute.
What is the cat one? His hair's long.
Oh yeah, that
Black
was
Uh,
a good
Rabbit.
one.
The
Yeah.
Black
cat one?
rabbit. Black rabbit.
Rabbit.
Sorry, not
Oh,
cat.
oh
That's
my
an
Rabbit.
God.
animal.
I was
Yeah.
too
Sexy as
busy looking at
he
his
Yeah.
hair.
is.
He looks great with long hair.
Smexy.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, queen.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Sorry, he's
All
a
right,
married man, and
everybody.
I all due respect.
Yes, no, he is
Namaste.
He is
Love
indeed a
you.
married.
patootie.
He is
And he's
married.
hilarious. He's just funny. I
Yeah.
love funny people.
Yes.
He's really good. All right,
Yeah.
I love you
All
guys.
right.
Namaste,
Bye,
Love you,
everybody.
girls.
everybody. See you next
Namaste.
week.